Hello everyone and welcome to this video. Now today I'm going to be reviewing one of my personal favourite albums from the 1980s. It is Tom Petty's Full Moon Fever. So this was Tom Petty's first solo record outside of the Heartbreakers, which was released on the 24th of April in 1989. Petty had just finished a tour with the Heartbreakers when he decided that he wanted to make a solo album, and like he had just heard Jeff Lynne's work on George Harrison's solo album, his comeback Cloud 9. He really liked what he'd heard, so he decided that he would like to work with Jeff Lynne on his new record, write some songs and collaborate. And although the other members of the Heartbreakers were upset at Tom going off in this new sort of solo direction, they felt that he had ditched them, most of them actually played on this album in some form or another, either just doing a little guest starring on a song, maybe playing keyboards on one song. But Mike Campbell, who is pretty much Tom Petty's right hand man throughout his whole career, was really involved with this album here, co-producing it, and also writing a lot of the songs in it as well with Tom and Jeff. The album was recorded pretty much in tandem with the first Wilburys album. All just sort of came together, all the sessions they'd done were all sort of the same sessions, because this does actually feature guest appearances from George Harrison and Roy Orbison, so we have 4 members of the Traveling Wilburys on this album. And it is also the album what Tom Petty describes as the one he most enjoyed making, probably because he was surrounded with all these legendary musicians who were very much influential to him. But not only that, they were now his best friends. The album was Tom Petty's peak as an artist, either in or out of the Heartbreakers. It reached number 3 in America, going 5 times platinum there, and done pretty well again the UK as well, reaching number 8. Now I know that doesn't sound very good, but I believe this might have been Tom Petty's only UK top 10 album. I could be wrong there, but certainly all his big more popular albums Damn the Torpedoes and Hard Promises weren't actually big hits over here in Britain. So this one here, top 10 album. What makes this even more ironic is the fact that the record company initially refused to release this album. They thought it would be a flop, and they weren't interested in putting it out. But after some persuasion from some other people within the company, they decided to put it out. This was MCA Records here. Tom Petty still owed them two albums, so this one and Into the Great Wide Open, before he later moved to Warner Brother Records. So now I'm just going to show you the vinyl here. I also have the CD here because I really like this album, so I decided to get the CD after I had purchased the vinyl here. So I'll just quickly show this here. There's the front cover, as we all know. There's the back. I do really like the back cover picture there, and you have a nice inner sleeve here. Nice artwork to it. Lyrics on the other side and credits and stuff, and there's the records there. CD here is a little bit different to the actual album design. I believe this is a later reissue from the 90s, I think, maybe the early 2000s. But there's the CD design, completely different to the vinyl, and in here you get a little advertisement thing for all his other albums, and a book here with pictures what weren't included in the original vinyl artwork. So this is pretty nice. The other thing as well with this CD is, unfortunately, it doesn't feature the Attention CD Listeners track. Basically, this was something what Tom Petty put between the first side and the second side on original CD copies of the album, basically where I think he just sort of says, "Hello CD listeners, we'll take a couple of seconds to wait while people on vinyl flip the record," or something like that. And unfortunately this CD version though doesn't have it, which I was quite disappointed about. But after doing a bit of research, that track only actually appears on the first US pressings of the CD, what I thought was a bit daft. So now I'm just going to go over all of the album songs. Open up with the track Free Falling, which I'm giving a 10 out of 10 to. I think it's just a great way to start the album, just with those wonderful guitar chords what come in the song, And like it's a really simple song as well. It's only the same what's about like 3 or 4 chords repeated throughout the whole song, but it is just so great. It's easily Tom Petty's most popular song. I mean, probably like every person probably knows this song, like I have to say, because it's been very popular like over the years. It used in like many films and TV adverts. But like the lyrics of this one also like nostalgic and like wistful, sort of like going back through like remembering like previous romance and that. But like they're not personal though, like they're sort of like open, and like that's something what I think made like the song like such a big hit. Like, however, I would say over the years I have maybe overheard this song a little bit. It does get a lot of exposure, but I won't let that influence my score for the song, which is still a 10, because I think it is just a brilliant track. Next song up is I Won't Back Down. Now this song is like quite special for me. It was the first Tom Petty song I actually heard and like got into. Of course I knew like Free Fallin', but like I wasn't like a fan like when I heard that song. But this one here though, like it was like kind of strange like how like I got into it. It was couple of years back, like there was a case with a song by a guy called Sam Smith, who his song Stay With Me was very similar to this song I Won't Back Down. So like of course me like knowing that song, it was like one of these songs that, like you hear like all the time. I don't particularly like it very much, but it was just like one of like the songs that like you couldn't like avoid like not hearing. So like I went onto YouTube, done like a research of like I Won't Back Down, and like I saw the music video, and I was like, yeah, that's a pretty damn good song. And then like I saw George Harrison in it, Jeff Lynne and Ringo, so I thought this guy's pretty damn cool, like if he can get like those three like in his music videos. So yeah, like I just love this song. I love the lyrics to it, very sort of defiant and like empowering lyrics, and like yeah, like just such a great song. It was the first single from the album, reaching number 12 in America. The track up is called Love Is a Long Road, and I'm giving this another perfect 10. Gives like the album like that much needed like heavier boost. I mean, because like I Won't Back Down and Free Fallin', they're somewhat lightweight. I mean, like they still like rock along nicely, but they're not really like heavy like by any means. But this song here like is just like such a good solid rocker. Like I love the start of it. Sort of sounds like sort of like 80s influence like at the start, but then the song like it does change. Like it gets into like this really good solid like rocking track. But like I just love it like all the way through. It is really damn good. And then for me the album sort of comes down a little bit with the song A Face in the Crowd, what I'm giving a 7 out of 10 to, and this will probably surprise a lot of people like when I say that this is my least favourite song from the album. Basically the song is like a ballad about like a guy who falls in love with someone who's just a face in the crowd. The lyrics of this though aren't really that like imaginative, and like certainly this wasn't a wise choice like a follow-up single. Like I believe that like, they had already released I Won't Back Down, Free Falling and Run Down a Dream as singles. This was the fourth choice, and like no wonder like it was a flop, because it just isn't single material for me. But to be fair though, a 7 out of 10 is still pretty damn good for like the song that I consider my least favourite like on the album. And then we close side 1 with the classic Running Down a Dream, which I am of course giving a 10 out of 10 to. This song is just perfect. Really, like I can't really say like much more than that. It's just such a great, epic, driving song. Great lyrics on it, and like guitar solo like at the end for Mike Campbell is just absolutely stunning. He's easily one of my personal favourite guitarists like of all time. He's really like underrated, and like this song just shows it. Then we get on to side 2 of the record, which is the side that sometimes gets like criticised for having like some filler tracks in it, but for me it's almost just as good as side 1. We open up with I'll Feel a Whole Lot Better, which is a cover of a song originally done by the band The Byrds, who were a 60s group of course, who like really like heavily like influenced like that Tom Petty with like the sort of like the jangly like Rickenbacker guitars here. We see Tom on the cover with like a Rickenbacker guitar there. So like very like influential like on like the Heartbreakers sound. And Tom Petty does a great version like of this song, although it's maybe a little bit too similar to like the original, like it's pretty much just like a carbon copy of it. But like the song is like great though, like I can't really fault it, so it has to be like a 10 out of 10 for me because I just love the sound of it and like I think it's really good. But not me, baby. Next song up is called Youre So Bad, styled as You're So Bad without the U in it. This would be a 9 out of 10 for me. I do really like it, sort of like a more like acoustic, folkier style song. I would mark this down though. The reason why it's not a 10 is because of like some of like the lyrics from there slightly silly, and like also like a slightly like unimaginative guitar solo piece in like the middle. Like I don't think Mike Campbell like had much influence on this song. It just seemed like he wrote it. Yeah, Tom Petty and Jeff Lynne. So Mike Campbell, I don't think played on this song here, and like you can sort of tell because the guitar solo is like kind of lacking like a little bit. But overall, it is still a very good song indeed. Next one up is called Depending on You, and like again, like this is like a track that would like often get called filler, but I just really love it. It is just such a great, fun, catchy song. But I really like, got a great chorus on it. So yeah, 9 out of 10, very good indeed. Then we get one of my personal favourites from the album. It is the Apartment song, giving this a 10 out of 10 for me. It's just a sort of very simple sort of like rockabilly style song, with like great lyrics on it though, and like a fantastic chorus. I love the chorus on this song here. A lot what people say about this album is like he's sort of like going through his like influences like sometimes like on here. Like I mean like you have like the song Free Fall and like the lyrics on that, and then like I feel a whole lot better, a cover of a Bird song. And then this one here for me, the guitar passage in it where like you've got like the guitar and like the drum song going, sounds very similar to Buddy Holly's song Peggy Sue, and like wouldn't be surprised if like that was like an intentional nod at it, like rather than just like a accident or like a coincidence. Good night, baby. Sleep tight, my love. Right, next track up is called Alright For Now. I'm giving this a 7 out of 10. It is a much slower, sort of softer, calmer, acoustic song. So like he's like the lyrics sort of reads like as like a lullaby style song. It is hardly a favourite of mine though. Like if I was to pick a highlight from this album, this song definitely wouldn't be it. But like it does pass quickly though, and like it is pleasant enough. Like I believe it only is like about 2 minutes long. So if like you try to like extend it like by adding like a guitar solo or like another verse or something, then like it would maybe start like dropping down like the scores for me. But overall, I'd say like it's a solid track. And then the second to last track on here is called A Mind With a Heart of Its Own, and I'm giving this also a 7 out of 10. This may be like my least favourite one like on the album. Like I did say like Face in the Crowd, but for me like this one like might be like my least favourite. It's like a decent like mid-tempo song, but it's sort of like average for Tom Petty. Like it's hardly like one of like his greatest songs. But for me though, like some of like the lyrics on this one here like are a little bit silly, a little bit repetitive some of the time. So like overall, it's decent, but again just like not a personal favourite. And now the closer to the album is a song called Zombie Zoo, which I would give a 9 out of 10 to. Now yes and no, the lyrics on this one here like are like a bit on like the silly side again, but for me it is the production which just makes this song. Jeff Lynne's production like on this track is absolutely sublime. It just makes a song the whole sound of it is just like absolutely stunning. Supposedly this track features Roy Orbison like on vocals, but I can't hear him like actually, like I don't know, like he seems to be sort of like buried a little bit. But like the actual song itself is like great. Only reason marking it down is that because of like the slightly silly lyrics. But overall, it is just great, highly listenable, highly energetic song that I really like. so now I have reached the end of this album review, and like overall I will give this a score of 90%. This is a truly stunning album for me. It is very, very consistent throughout. Both side 1 and side 2 are full of great songs. Some of his absolute best songs are like most popular, most enduring and like biggest hits are like were on this album, stuff like Free Fallin' and Won't Back Down, and Running Down Dream. And then there's also like a lot of like hidden gems on there for me, stuff like Love Is a Long Road and the Apartment song, and like also Zombie Zoo as well. Like sort of like underappreciated Tom Petty songs. Definitely for me, this is the album what got me into Tom Petty. I picked this up like at like a record shop probably about 6 months ago. I'd say probably like a bit longer than that. I actually like maybe about like a year ago, like getting on for like a year now, and it was just really great listening to this because I didn't like expect it to be like as good as like it actually was, with like almost every song being highly enjoyable. Like every song on here like actually being like highly like enjoyable, and like almost every song being like a classic for me. Definitely his most accessible album, which I know is like maybe why like the original Heartbreakers didn't like it. They thought it was too poppy, too commercialized. But like I just really like it, and like it's definitely one of my personal favourite albums from like the 1980s. Could well be my personal favourite. Like it's up there with Graceland for me as best album from the 80s. Again, I hope you have enjoyed, and if like you'd like to see like any other albums reviewed in the future, please leave them down below. Also, like your thoughts on like this album would be much appreciated, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.